Well, hey kids, this is Jeff back again, and I've got an application activity for you that goes along with Sunday's digital kids church experience. And we're calling this activity Choose Your Own Misadventure. Now, how many people have read any of the Choose Your Own Adventure books? Now, I've got to tell you, those are not new. I loved those things when I was your age. I would get them all from the library. I'd wear them out. If you've never read them, they're books that have an adventure story that go along with them, and then every now and then it gives you a question to answer. Would you do A or B? And then it gives you a page number to flip to, depending on your answer. I invariably would end up dying pretty quickly. Apparently, I don't make good decisions with those things. But then you go back and you start to trace your way and try to find the path through the book that allows you to succeed and find the treasure, or you discover the cure, or whatever it is that the adventure is about. Now, this Sunday, we saw that we should learn from others' mistakes. And that means when we see someone make a mistake, we should kind of file that away in our memory banks and use that to allow us to make a better choice when we're in similar circumstances. That's one of the great ways that God has designed us. He gave us these incredible, awesome brains. Scientists don't even understand how all of this came to be and why they function the way they do. But God gave those to us so that we can observe what's around us and make wise choices. Now, we had a Bible story. There was a king there who did not learn from others' mistakes. You guys remember his name? What's his name? He has one of the great king names in all of the Bible. His name is King Belshazzar. Now, King Belshazzar did not learn from the mistakes that his predecessor, King Nebuchadnezzar, made. How'd that turn out for him? Yeah, not good. He lost his entire kingdom. In fact, he was killed the very night that he was told his kingdom was going to be taken away from him. He paid with his foolishness, with his own life. Now, I bet that King Belshazzar wishes that he could have gone back and made different decisions, don't you? I mean, I would have. We need to learn from King Belshazzar's mistakes, and King Nebuchadnezzar's too. And we should also learn from the mistakes of the people that we see around us every day. Now, I have a story to read to you, and much like Choose Your Own Adventure, it's going to work kind of the same way. I'm going to need your help. There will be certain moments when I have a decision to make in my story. And so you listen closely. What we're going to do is we're going to try out the bad choice first. So we want to identify what would the wrong thing to do be. We're going to try that one out first, and then we'll go back and be able to relive it like King Belshazzar couldn't. And we'll see how things go for us when we make the bad choice and when we make the right choice. All right, I've got some pictures to go with this. I'm going to have them here. And here's the beginning of our day. You wake up in your room just like any other day and start getting ready for school. You go to the kitchen, you get some breakfast, and you see your little brother at the table laughing. Why is he laughing? Because he's making a mess with his cereal. He's sloshing the milk all over the table. He's using the spoon like a catapult. Cereal and milk are flying all over the kitchen, and while your brother just laughs and laughs, your mom comes in and, predictably, yells at your little brother. As punishment, he is grounded from eating his favorite cereal for the rest of the week. Ooh, what's your favorite cereal? Yeah, anything that goes in a bowl with milk is my favorite. All right, so he's grounded from eating his favorite cereal. Your mom leaves, and your brother starts to cry. And we've arrived at decision moment number 1. A, you can choose to calmly eat your cereal over by the counter. Or B, you can choose to cheer your brother up by challenging him to a cereal war. Now, guys, what do you think the wrong decision to this is? It's B, right? You just observed your brother get in trouble for throwing cereal, and now you are saying, let's throw more cereal. All right, let's see what happens. You start catapulting cereal at your brother and splashing your milk at him, and he starts laughing, and the two of you have the most epic, messiest cereal war ever. Your mom comes back into the kitchen and sees what the two of you have been doing. She is furious with you and makes you clean up both your mess and your brother's mess. You clean up the kitchen, but you don't have time to change clothes. You have to run to the bus stop covered in sticky, milky clothes. All right, let's go back to this and make the wiser decision. We're going to learn from our brother's mistake. We're just going to go calmly eat cereal over by the counter. You calmly finish breakfast, you tell your mom goodbye, and you head down the street to the bus stop. Your friend Kyle is waiting for you with a big smile on his face. He shows you a bag of pebbles and hands half of them to you. He tells you he has a great idea for the bus ride to school. The bus arrives and your ride to school begins. After a few moments on the bus, Kyle rolls down his window and starts to throw the pebbles at other cars as the bus drives along. What is he doing? He motions for you to join in with your own pebbles. Now the bus driver sees what Kyle is doing and stops the bus. The bus driver says that Kyle will be reported to the principal and that his parents will be called and told what Kyle did today. The bus driver goes back to the front of the bus and continues the trip to school. Decision moment number 2. A, you choose to ride quietly the rest of the way to school and drop your pebbles on the ground when you get there. Or B, you wait till the bus driver isn't looking, roll down your window and start throwing pebbles at passing cars. Which is the wrong decision? The decision that does not learn from the mistakes of others. It's pretty obviously B, right? Would you ever throw pebbles at cars? After the bus driver heads back to his seat, you roll down your window, you start throwing pebbles at cars. Your aim is good, and you hit most of your targets dead on. Passing drivers glare and yell at you until you're only a couple of blocks away from the school. That's when the bus pulls over. The driver saw what you were doing, walks back to your seat, takes the pebbles away from you, yells at you for not listening to him, and when told Kyle to throw stop pebbles, he says you'll be reported to the principal, your parents will be told, and he makes you get off the bus and walk the rest of the way to school. Ouch. Well, let's go back here. Let's learn from Kyle's mistake and make the wise decision. Once you arrive at school, you drop your pebbles on the ground and head to your class. Your teacher tells the class to quiet down and pay attention so she can start the day's lesson. As the teacher starts writing on the board, you notice the sound of paper being folded, and you look and see that Kristen, one of your classmates, is folding a note. She whispers to her friend and passes her the note. The teacher turns away from the board just in time to see Kristen pass the note to her friend. Your teacher makes Kristen bring the note to the front of the class and hand it to the teacher. Your teacher reads the note and says that Kristen has to stay in the class during recess. As the teacher turns back to the board, you realize that you have something to tell your friend James. But James sits too far away for you to talk to him during class. By the way, even if he sits next to you, you probably shouldn't talk to him during class, right? Decision moment number 3. A, you choose to wait until later to talk to your friend James. Or B, you choose to write a note to your friend and try to pass it to him. All right, guys, which is the one that does not learn from our friend's mistake? Trying to pass a note, right? So you quickly and quietly write out a note to your friend James and try to get your classmates to pass it up to him. Your teacher hears the whispering, walks over to investigate. She sees your note, takes it away, reads it out loud to the class, and then she says you also have to stay in the class during recess. But because you didn't listen to the teacher when she punished Kristen, you have to spend recess cleaning old gum off the bottoms of the desks. Gross. Let's go back, learn from Kristen's mistake, and make a better decision. Eventually, your teacher ends the lesson and sends the group to gym class. You talk with your friend James on the way, and he tells you that in gym class, everyone is going to play kickball outside. That is a fun gym class. This is great news because it's a beautiful day outside. Ooh, like the day today. Today is great out. Your coach divides everyone into 2 teams and the game begins. As you're waiting in line for your turn to kick, your friend Nathan tells you about an idea he has. Nathan says if you run up and kick the ball earlier than usual, the ball will go farther, the outfielders will have more trouble catching it. Nathan takes his turn at home plate and runs up to kick the ball right after the pitcher's rolled it. The ball goes flying way out into the field, just like Nathan said it would, but the coach blows the whistle, stops the game. He says Nathan is cheating, makes him sit out for the rest of the game. The game starts up again, and it's now your turn to kick. And it's decision moment number 4. A, you choose to wait to kick the ball at the regular time, or B, you choose to run up and kick the ball early so it will go farther. Which one of these does not learn from your friend Nathan's mistake? Choosing to run up and cheat, right? As soon as the pitcher winds up to roll the ball, you start running towards him. The ball has barely left his hands when you kick it as hard as you can. But instead of flying off into the distance, the ball shoots straight towards the pitcher's face. He's knocked down and starts crying. The coach runs over to make sure he's okay, and then the coach yells at you for trying to cheat like Nathan. Not only do you not get to play kickball anymore today, but the coach makes you run laps around the field by yourself until gym class is over. I hate running laps. Let's go back, learn from Nathan's mistake, and make a wiser decision. You play the game according to the rules, and at the end of the game, your team has won. You and your teammates congratulate each other as you head back to class. Eventually, school lets out for the day, and you ride the bus back home without the gravel this time. As you walk from the bus stop to your house, you hear someone calling your name. It sounds like your friend Ed, but you can't see where the voice is coming from. You finally spot him waving at you from the roof of his house. He tells you to use the nearby ladder and climb up because he has something to show you. Once you're on the roof, he explains his plan. He wants to try a new stunt, jumping off his roof and landing safely in a nearby tree. It sounds dangerous, but it also sounds like fun. Not to me. Ed runs, jumps, grabs onto the tree branch, but slips off. He lands on the ground immediately, grabs his ankle in pain. Decision moment number 5, and the last one. A, you choose to climb back down the ladder and help your friend. Or B, you choose to try and jump from the roof into the tree to prove it can be done. Then you climb down and help your friend. Oh goodness, which one of these does not learn from Ed's mistake? You decide that jumping to the tree would be a faster way to get down to the ground. You run, you jump, you reach for the tree. Unfortunately, you didn't jump as far as Ed, and your fingers never even touch the tree branch. You fall straight to the ground next to Ed. You hear a popping sound in your arm, and it starts to hurt really bad. His parents call an ambulance, and now both you and Ed head to the hospital. Let's go back and let's learn from Ed's really bad mistake, shall we? You climb back down the ladder and help your friend into his house. His parents thank you for helping and then drive Ed to the hospital to take care of his ankle. You walk to your house and tell your mom about the day you had. She tells you she's proud of you for making good choices and learning from other people's mistakes. The end. That is quite a day, isn't it? You know, we have choices to make every day. And it might not be whether or not to throw gravel at cars or jump off a roof, but we have lots and lots and lots and lots of choices every day. Now, tell me in this story, which was better, choosing to learn from other people's mistakes or choosing not to learn? It's definitely better to choose to learn from their mistakes, right? And we can avoid a lot of problems in our lives if we pay attention and choose not to repeat the mistakes of the people around us. We can also look at the lives of people in the Bible. There are tons of examples of people who choose wrong things, mistakes, and they're in the Bible so that we can learn from them. In fact, I shared with you on Sunday that there are way more people in the Bible who make mistakes for us to learn from than there are people who do the right thing to learn from. It's an amazing part of the Bible. It's full of people making mistakes. You see, nobody's perfect all the time. We all are going to make mistakes. The key for us is to learn from our mistakes and, what we're talking about this week, from the mistakes of other people. If we do, we will avoid a lot of problems and have a much, much better life because it's the life that God has designed for us. He designed these brains so that we can learn from others and make wise choices. Kids, I miss you. I love you. I can't wait for us to be back together. I'm going to be back all week long reading more stories from the Bible of people who made mistakes for us to learn from. There are some incredible stories in the Bible, and I can't wait to share them with you all week long. Bye-bye, guys.